I'm in a dream state, keen on a clean slate. I got schemes from the things that I've seen, mate. Trapped in a deep state, I come a long way from that kid who's never seen great.
Alright, so today I want to talk about BPD and impulsive behaviour. Now, I've got a lot of impulsive behaviours, should I say, and I don't know, I noticed them and sort of had them before my whole diagnosis and that, which don't mean that I didn't have it before the diagnosis, obviously, but I thought, yeah, I'd make this video about it. So, first of all, like, what are the impulsive behaviours? Now, for different people, it's different things now. Like, one misconception I've read about a lot is that a lot of people with BPD, their impulsive behaviour is to like sleep with people, like one night stands and shit. Now, that can be the case, but I mean, it's not like that's with everyone with it. So it's not like if someone's like impulsive behaviour is to sleep with someone to feel better or some shit, like it's not like a sign that they've got BPD necessarily and that. But yeah, it can be a number of things, addiction, drink, drugs, shoplifting, shopping, just any form of addiction can be the impulsive behaviour, self-harm, suicide attempts, speeding, fucking, there's endless list of things that can be an impulsive behaviour. And what these impulsive behaviours tend to be is when you're in a crappy mood, when you've gone through a bad episode with the BPD, or even just a bad situation in general for you, or a hard situation, that you tend to like not know what to do in that, and that's when the impulsive behaviour kicks in. And you jump straight to that impulsive behaviour before your mind's even got a chance to think and that. Now, it's not the right thing to do, but at the same time, it's one of these things. It's your body, your mind has like learned to do that as a coping mechanism. So you jump to that, thinking that it's the right thing to do and that. And like, I still do like jump to impulsive behaviours and that, but like some of mine are like self-harm. I used to jump straight to the point of like trying to commit suicide quite a lot, and smoking weed. Back when I was addicted to speed, I used to smoke that 10 times as much. Like, if I was going through a bad situation, first thing I'd do, pick up the mirror, rack up a line, and start fucking lighting it up and that. Like, the same with drink. I used to wake up in the morning after like having a bad dream or something, be shit, fuck this, open up a bottle of rum and that, and then start like necking it straight from the bottle and stuff. Now, these things aren't the right way to go about dealing with it, but it's a case of you've got to like train your brain and that. So like, the thing is, first thing you've got to figure out is what's causing it, what's making you get low in the first place to cause it. So maybe, I don't know, maybe you got into an argument with a friend or a family member or someone. Maybe it's just an argument with someone you don't even know. Or, I don't know, it could even be like tied into like another part of BPD. Like you got a favourite person and that, and something just seems slightly off, and it makes you think maybe they don't want you around, or maybe you've done something wrong, when actually you haven't. Sometimes it can be something's happening and making you feel that way, and then other times you can be feeling that low and jump to the impulsive behaviours when actually nothing's happened at all. And it sounds quite weird, quite messed up and that, but it's not. It's just the way that our minds are programmed and work, and it's like you've got to try and reprogram your mind, and it's not easy. It takes years and years and that. I'm right at the early stages of learning about it and trying to sort it out and that. So I'm all what I can do is advise people and talk about it, to try and raise awareness, to try and spread the word, and hopefully get people to like understand that. But like, yeah, so when you go through that situation, the next sort of stage in that is you react. You're unable to like do anything other than jump straight to your impulsive behaviours and that. And that can be, in some cases, that can be a very dangerous move. It can be a very destructive move, and it can be very hurtful. But that doesn't mean that what you're doing is wrong. No, it's probably not the best thing to do, but again, as I say, it's how your mind works. You've got to put in the time and the effort to try and, like, as I say, reprogram your mind, kind of like a computer. That's probably the worst analogy ever, but anyway, like, it takes time. From what I've been reading and that, some people, it takes them 10-20 years to get to a point where they're sorted and they're not jumping to it. Other people, it can take 6 months to a year, sort of thing. It all depends on the person and sort of how well their mind reacts and works and that, and whether you're getting help can also be an added factor. But it's kind of hard, like, when you're in that situation and you jump to that impulsive behaviour, it's almost like you haven't got control of your body. Like, this is me talking from my personal experience anyway. It's like I don't have control of my body, like, oh shit, this has happened, and then before I can even think, before I can even realise what's going on, I'm cutting myself, or I'm packing myself a bong and ripping it to try and just fucking take the pain away, just take my mind off shit and just take me to that another place, sort of thing. Now, it's strange how it works and that, because as I say, 9 times out of 10, for a lot of people it's 10 times out of 10 sort of thing, you don't realise that you're doing it until after you've done it, sort of thing. It's almost like your body's on autopilot and your soul is just like a million miles away, sort of thing. And it can be quite scary. I find that it can be scary at times, like afterwards, like with the aftermath and that, because it's kind of weird. It's like a cycle. Something happened, you jump to the impulsive behaviour, after you've done the impulsive behaviour and that, you come out of it, and then you realise what you've done, and then sometimes then you can just move forwards from that until something happens, and then the cycle repeats. Or sometimes afterwards you start feeling crappy because you've cut yourself, or you've punched a hole in the wall, or you've done this or you've done that, and you start thinking about it and getting in a really crappy mood. Then before you know it, boom, your mind's gone and taken you back to that point again, and you've done the impulsive behaviour again, and it just works like a cycle. It just keeps on tumbling round and round and round. And the trick is, and it's not easy from what I've heard, from what I've found out from speaking to people and that, is you've got to try and break that cycle. And as I say, that's something that takes a lot of time and a lot of work. It's not the sort of thing you can just wake up one day and be like, right, boom, I'm breaking this cycle today. It don't work like that. Like, don't matter how strong you are, you can think, right, I'm breaking this cycle today, but then in a few days' time you might end up falling back into the cycle. It's one of those things you've got to like recognise the things that are causing it. You've got to recognise when you feel like you're gonna go to it, so then you can start figuring out, right, this is what I've got to do to try and avoid that, to avoid going to that place. It's kind of like in your mind, it's the best way I've found is the way Chester Bennington described sort of his mind and stuff when he wrote the song Heavy and that. He says something along the lines of, when my mind goes to that dark place, it's like a bad street, like a bad neighbourhood and that, and you just don't want to go there. But once you're there, there's no way out and that, no one can relate sort of thing. And it's one of those ones, for every person it's different, but you've got to figure out what's best for you, how it works for you, so that you can try and solve it yourself. And that, but yeah, sorry, it's night time. And the worst part is, like, well, it's not a bad thing to it as well, is a lot of people's impulsive behaviour is they jump to drugs, drink drugs, whatever, and they start taking it. And this can cause problems, because say you're getting help for your mental health and you're on drinking drugs, they can have BPD as like thinking, right, that could be the diagnosis. But when you're on drink or drugs, they try and solve that first. And the problem with that is they start ruling out all these different things and that, just to try and solve it. And by the time they've got you off the drink or off the drugs and that, it's prolonged it and making it harder for you to actually get better from your BPD sort of thing, because it's been allowed to keep on going on that long, because they're concentrating so much on that addiction rather than trying to understand and diagnose the underlying problem. And that can cause a lot of sort of problems in the long run. This just my take on BPD and the impulsive behaviours that I personally go through, and what I know people have gone through, and I've spoken to people and read up online about. So it'd be great to hear your opinions, your personal accounts, in the comments and that, and just it'd be great to hear from you, hear your stories and that, to get to know you all as well and that, because none of us are alone in that. We're all in this together and that. And I believe knowledge is the best form of power. We share our story, we share our knowledge with each other, we find people that can relate, and together as one, we're a lot more stronger. So have a good day or night, stay strong, stay safe, peace.